Hello and welcome to the No Format Podcast, or the No Format Required Podcast. I forget what we go by these days. We seem to change it every time we introduce it.
I can never get it right anyway.
No. So this week we're actually not going to do the planned music episode. We might come back to that in a few weeks. We just thought we'd try, because we've got no format, we're chucking the format out the window, and we thought we'd try a few different things. So this is a special homage episode to a podcast that I absolutely love, hosted by Goldstein. And to homage it and not actually mimic it completely, we're going to be calling this episode Movies to Take into the Afterlife. So joining me on this special homage episode is a man who's a member of the police force, a podcast co-host, a friend, a husband, not to me, a hot tubber, a prankster, an occasional toilet user. It's Charlie.
Hello, thank you. I always look forward to your introductions, Mike.
Well, that's stolen from the podcast itself, in which they literally just reel off random things in which the person is. And yeah, that's what I've written to describe you.
We're not going to get done for copyright from the previous podcast.
I hope not. Movies to Take into the Afterlife. It's taking the format away. It's an homage. We are using the format.
What does an homage mean?
It means that we are, in my description of what homage is, I was about to say we are homaging it. It's like we're
like mirroring,
paying tribute to it, if you will.
Yeah.
So mirroring it, but in a nice way. We're not sort of mocking it or anything. We're using the format because it's a great idea. For those who don't know, it's basically the hosts are some random comedians or actors or directors, what their favourite films are via a certain medium. So we're going to get to know Charlie's favourite films via a series of questions, and just get to know him and a bit about him through these questions, hopefully. So first things
first.
Yeah, first things first.
First thing is always first.
But I feel let's just mention last 2 weeks we struggled a bit with those episodes.
Yeah.
We weren't recording in person.
No.
But we've got a new microphone set up. Charlie's got an official microphone now.
Eventually it's working. I'm just hoping it's going to record properly. I have a feeling. I don't know. Well, we'll find out in editing.
Hopefully not, because this is going to be... I'm thinking this episode is going to be a two-parter, guys. So hopefully it will record all right, because that'll be an hour's wasted.
Yeah.
But yeah, our last two episodes, we struggled a bit editing them. We struggled a bit recording them. I feel we hadn't recorded in a while. We weren't recording in person, because unfortunately Charlie's wife had COVID. How is she now? Yeah,
she's a lot better, thank you. I was a little bit gutted that I didn't get it. Not that I want. Well, I suppose I kind of did want COVID, but just because I've got a holiday planned in a few months and a wedding, and I kind of wanted to get it, so then it's out of the way again, and you get a bit of immunity.
Clear.
Yeah, just it gives you that extra few months of immunity, then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, she was worse this time than when she had it the first time.
Oh, really?
And she had all of her jabs this time, but she didn't have that the first time.
See, that's weird actually you say that, because I was worse the second time.
Oh, was you? Yeah, I didn't realise you'd had COVID before. Twice, sorry.
Yeah, I've had it twice now. So obviously I had it after your stag do.
Ah, yeah, you did. There's a few people.
I was one of the first people, I'd say, in the country to have it.
Yeah.
Very early on, to the point that not all the current symptoms were available. The only symptoms that were there when I got it were fever and a cough, neither of which I had. But I lost my sense of smell, and it's only really just come back. But yeah, I lost my sense of smell, and I just remember, I was in our living room, and I was like, I think was cooking something. I was like, I can't really smell that, but I didn't really want to say anything to Lauren, because people had hinted at the time that loss of smell was a symptom, but it wasn't an official thing. And then I just walked into the kitchen, got some mustard powder, put that out my nose, couldn't smell it. Got some chili powder, put that out my nose, got some coffee, put that out my nose, couldn't smell any of this. I was like, oh. And then a few weeks later, but obviously it meant absolutely nothing. I could go about and do stuff because it wasn't a big thing back when I had it. And then a few weeks later, the NHS offered antibody testing for anyone who'd worked within the NHS to see whether they had COVID in the past.
Yeah.
And mine came up positive.
Yeah. One of the first. You could have been the one that infected us all.
Yeah.
Well, infected the area around here. See, I had the same. I lost my... Lauren didn't initially when we had it, but I lost my smell and taste. And it's so weird because I've never had that. You get a cold and it's bunged. It's like... You've still got a little bit there, but it's like... Yeah. It's bunged up. It's not fully gone, but I would vinegar every day. I'd go and smell vinegar. Like, multiple times of the day I was going just to see if it came back because I was panicking that I wasn't going to get it back. And I thought, I don't think I could live without... Well, obviously I could live without it, but it would be... Yeah, I just wouldn't enjoy food or drink ever again.
It's not quite the same.
So
anyway, moving on. The theme of this week's podcast is obviously movies. Do you watch a lot of movies?
Not really. I'm not really a big movie goer, if I'm honest, Mike. It's a bit awkward when you asked me to do this idea. No, I do like movies. Yeah, I've not as I mentioned, I think I've seen one film at the cinema this year.
Which, by the way, I'm going to say something that we're going to be doing in a few months' time. We're going to be doing the Pop Culture Awards, in which we're going to give out awards to films, TV, video games, music, and all sorts of things that we've seen this year and this year only, and has got to have been released this year. But Charlie only seeing one film from 2022 could make this quite interesting.
One film at the cinema. So I've seen like Netflix films and the things that come straight to them.
Which is allowed to be included.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like the main, I suppose the big films are the ones that come out at the cinema. But I'm a bit disappointed in myself. There's no excuse.
Yeah, what's the film you've seen at the cinema?
Batman.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking, I thought there's no other. We booked to go and see Top Gun the other day, but then we cancelled. So, but I don't know. We've got a refund of our ticket. Well, we can use the ticket again effectively, but I don't know if it will still be out in a couple of weeks' time because it was just like the one last showing. But that is one I wanted to see at the cinema specifically because of the kind of film.
Oh
it is.
Yeah, it is fantastic at the cinema.
Would you go? Still kind of keeping on topic. Would you go to the cinema to see like a comedy?
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't. I'd wait for it to come on. If it would, I only like
because the cinema's an idea of this like big CGI. Yeah, you can see all everything that's there in a comedy.
Exactly. You're not going there for the CGI. But I mean, I do like the whole experience of going to the cinema.
Yeah. See, I'll see anything at the cinema. I like the experience, and then coming out afterwards and chatting to whoever you've been to the cinema with about that film. Yeah. Like that's a big part of it for me. Oh, mate, I just realised this is really awkward. I forgot to tell you.
What?
You're dead.
I'm dead?
Yeah, you're dead.
Okay.
How did you die?
Aeroplane crash.
An aeroplane crash, very morbid. How did that happen?
I was actually in Leonard Skinner. And no, do you know that?
I don't, but I get a feeling it's going to be a really bad reference.
That was very much wasted. I stole a plane from the airport, and actually that sounds more like a bit of a terrorist now.
Yeah.
I had to go at flying a plane, and then I just crashed it.
You had to go at it?
Yeah, I had to
no
go.
Experience whatsoever?
No, when I was just very, very bad.
Just love the idea of you being like, I can do that. I can drive a car, can't I? It's the same thing.
I play on Flight Simulator, so why can't I have a go at it? But
well, yeah, unfortunately, you've died. Do you believe in the afterlife or anything?
No, not really.
No. Well, I've got news for you.
Oh, okay.
An afterlife does exist.
Oh, okay.
And it's full of your favourite things. What are your favourite things?
I probably have to say films.
You don't have to say films.
No, films. I would say films. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
well, luckily for you, it's full of your favourite films, and everyone in heaven wants to know your favourite films.
That's convenient.
Yeah,
very convenient.
Compiled a list of questions to ask you about them.
Are you playing the sort of what's his name thing at the pearly gate?
St. Peter.
Yeah, is this like?
No, these are people. You're already inside.
Yeah,
yeah. Don't worry, you haven't been shut down to hell yet.
Okay.
Yeah. They're going to listen to your choices of films first, and then they'll make the decision later.
Okay, fair enough.
So the first thing that they want to know is what's the first film you remember going to see?
What, at the cinema or just generally?
Just remember seeing.
I struggled with this one because I put Toy Story just because it was one of the earliest ones, and that was like 1999.
I think it was earlier than that.
Or was 94? It 7? Was it 94?
95.
Was it 95? That's. Oh God, I thought it was older. So I'd have been 5, maybe.
Well done. You was born in 1990. It's not that difficult to work out.
But depending on when it's come out, I could have also been 4.
That's very true. Okay, I'll let you off. Yeah, you were mid 90s.
So yeah, I'd probably. That was a difficult one. Yeah, I'd probably say Toy Story.
Well, Toy Story is a great film. So.
Yeah. I mean, I watched
your first memory of sort of thing.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Disney films when I was younger, but I wasn't massively. I more preferred like the Pixar kind of like Monsters Inc. and things like that. But yeah, Toy Story I'd probably say was my...
Did you go to the cinema to go see it?
I don't know. I would have probably said so back then because there wasn't Disney Plus and anything that you came would come on video, wouldn't it?
Would have been VHS, yeah.
Yeah, so I would have said I'd gone to the cinema.
You just got a memory of it being one of the first films that you remember, sort of thing.
It might not be, but that's the only one. The first one I can remember anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good. I mean, and it's still a film that I'll watch now.
But it's to say it holds up, story-wise, it holds up.
Yeah.
Animation, God, is shoddy.
Yeah. Comparing it to I suppose, Toy Story 4 and the more modern
things. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm with my son recently. I watched Toy Story 4. Yeah. And I tried to watch Toy Story and I was like, oh, this is difficult. It's really bad. They didn't know how to animate people at the time either.
Oh, really?
You can tell if you look at Andy back in Toy Story 1 versus Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Or Toy Story 3, because I don't think he appeared in Toy Story 4. I know he appeared in flashbacks. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, if you look at Andy, it's just really poor. His face just looks weird. And yeah, they haven't quite got their style. Well, they've got their style, but in terms of the technique, it wasn't quite there.
I've not seen it in such a long time, and I still remember it as being, like when you play on a PlayStation, when you played on a PlayStation 1 game, and you've not played it for years and years, since probably when you initially played it back in 1998 or 9, and you think the graphics are absolutely amazing on it, and then you like watch an old YouTube clip of it and you think, God, them graphics are shit.
Well, I remember GTA 3 being the most revolutionary thing I've ever played in my life. And
But GTA 3...
The 3D one.
3D, oh yeah, GTA 1 and 2 was from above.
Top down, yeah.
But that's why I think I still, with Toy Story, I still think of it like the graphics are really, really good. But again, it's been such a long time since I watched it. One of our friends, her daughter's basically, I think she's come out of the phase now, but I think for about 6 months, Toy Story on all the time. So they were going through.
Really?
They must have watched at least three of the films a day, and it's just a constant loop, and obsessed with Woody and Buzz. And I mean, I've got a Buzz Lightyear actually somewhere in my house. Lauren bought it me as a birthday present, but yeah, it's good. It's a good film, and I still enjoy it today.
We're that with Encanto with George.
Oh,
just continuously on a loop. Encanto.
Oh, is it? That's that musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren's watched it. I've not.
Yeah, it's a Disney one, not a Pixar one.
Oh,
it's really good. Recommend it.
Is it?
Yeah. So, son, if you're listening to this, that's the first film that you saw. Right. What's the film that scares you, Charlie?
So this one was called Amiga Man. I'm going to go with Amiga Man.
Yeah. So I hadn't heard of this film when you sent it to me, and I googled it, and it's the original. So it's based on I Am Legend.
Yeah.
The original novel is called Amiga Man, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. So what's so scary about it?
It's like compared to, so it's got Charlton Heston in. He's like Will Smith's character. So if you've watched it, it's near enough the exact same as I Am Legend, but done in the 1970s. So end of the world. A brief description of it, and a virus has sort of wiped out majority of the world. The people that are alive are like weird creatures. So I think in the I'm Legend one, they turn into like monster creatures.
They're like vampire-esque, aren't they?
Yeah. Whether in this, they're more like a cult. And I think it was them that's freaked me out the most because they're sort of all pale. They have like, their eyes are weird. Like, I don't know if they have no pupils in their eyes or something like that. And when Charlton Heston's like, he's going around like looking for food or whatever, and he first sort of bumped into.
So he's trying to find a cure, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he stayed in the area.
Yeah, and I think he had. Did he have a cure, or he got inoculated, or something? He was inoculated, or somehow. But then when he sort of first, because again they can't sunlight and everything, they can't come out or whatever. But yeah, I mean when they first sort of see them come out, and again this was really low budget. Well, I say low budget. Charlton Heston's in it, so it must have been a big budget for the time. But obviously the technology wasn't there. There was no CGI. Apes, wasn't he? Yeah, it was Planet of the Apes. But yeah, it was just like makeup, like that was. Probably that's why they didn't have the vampire kind of thing they did. But yeah, they just really freaked me out. Really, like they're all pale, like white hair, and then their eyes were weird. They were all wearing these like big cloaks, and they were part of this like new sort of kind of cult. But yeah, I had nightmares about that. You can't
see this as the audience, but Charlie's actually sweating profusely describing it. Like, it seems to be really giving him some PTSD.
You know what? I don't know if I've actually watched it since. I remember sat downstairs watching it with my dad on an evening, and then thinking I shouldn't have watched that.
Really?
And it's not like now. I would watch it, and there's a lot more gruesome and stuff that I've seen since, but maybe it's just because of my age.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the most scariest. That at the time, anyway.
Good answer. It's not a film I've watched. And I watched I Am Legend.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise, obviously I knew it was based on a novel, but I didn't realise there'd actually been 2 prior adaptations.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was I can't remember who did the second one.
Oh, okay.
Obviously I researched it when you told me the answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the one with Charlton Heston was the first one. And yeah.
It's good. I would recommend. I would actually like. Maybe we should watch it. Maybe we should watch it together sometime.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
I need the support from you. I don't think I could. I think I would have flashbacks. I'd be hard behind you.
Haven't got some blankets. They're ready. Right, Charlie. What's the film that makes you cry?
See, I've never cried at a film.
Yeah, you've said this.
Yeah, I've never. And I was thinking back, and I'm. There's times.
Is there any films that have elicited like emotion of sadness?
I
Sorry, I forget you're a robot.
Yeah. Like, I've been sad watching films, but not to the point where I'd have cried. Like, the closest I've come to crying, and it wasn't out of sadness, it was Avengers Endgame, where they all appear. Yeah. Like, 'cause obviously I generally didn't know.
Okay, so that's not...
But that's not sadness.
And it's also not the bit that I thought you'd going to say.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way... There will be spoilers in this episode, obviously. Because I'm about to spoil a bit of it. I was just going
to say, I think I know which bit you're going to say. Yeah,
like, literally, Tony Stark dies.
Yeah.
He sacrifices himself.
I was never a big fan of Tony Stark, so I wasn't massively bothered, to be honest. But no, I've never... I've been sad at films, but never cried. Have you?
Well, definitely, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we'll talk about... in fact, I'll say one. I've written down a few... I put the most recent one that I cried at on my questions. So we will do a version of this where Charlie interviews me. But one of my ones was Infinity War.
Oh, really?
Literally written down Infinity War.
Oh, okay.
Not Infinity War, I meant Endgame.
Oh, Endgame.
And I meant Endgame when I put Infinity War.
Yeah. It's the Infinity Wars, isn't it? And I assume that's the Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes with films, like, I think that it's not real.
Oh my god, I've just realised the one that does make me cry every single time. I'm just going to write it down before I forget.
Oh, okay. Is this for another week's podcast? Or for your...
Yeah, for my week.
Yeah, okay, we won't answer that one. But yeah, it's not... This, like I say, been sad, but never cry. Like Lauren, she'll cry.
Yeah, see, I cry at any...
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I get invested with the characters.
Yeah.
So...
I'd probably say I've probably been more close to crying with a TV series because that's over years. You know, a film, you go and see it for 2 hours or 3 hours. But a TV series, you could be like effectively 3-4 years watching watching them people.
For Love and Thunder?
Yeah.
I went to see that at the cinema alone.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have anyone to go with. And I sat there crying at the end of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. There was like 2 other people in the cinema. Oh, okay. So I went at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, sat there on my own crying.
You're an emotional guy, Mike.
I am.
No, I've never... Yeah. I really did wrap my brains. I mean, maybe when I was a kid.
Well, you took a while to send the answers for these, so
yeah, I did try and think. And I made some more notes thingy, but I still couldn't think of one. So
that's right.
I'm just a machine.
Yeah, battle through. Death. What's that? Right. This is an interesting one.
Okay.
What's the film that you love but people hate?
Well, I don't. Again, this was another difficult one. They're all difficult questions.
Yeah.
But I put Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah.
Because I know Will Ferrell's in it, and it's early Will Ferrell. And
it's very early Will Ferrell.
A lot of people... Well, I say I know a lot of people. From the people I know, Will Ferrell is like one of them people out there love or hate him. Like, they either like him, because he kind of plays similar roles in a lot of films he does. Like, he's not... Yeah. You never see him in a serious drama or like a Christian Although
he's really good in Stranger Than Fiction.
Well, you ever watched that? No, I've not seen
Stranger Than Fiction. I think it's Emma Thompson. It's been years since I watched it, so like in terms of my trying to remember this, a bit flaky. But Emma Thompson's a writer on a novel, and Will Ferrell's character somehow realizes that his life is being written by Emma Thompson.
Okay.
So the character she's writing about is Will Ferrell.
Okay.
And he finds out that she plans to kill him off in the next book.
Yeah.
And obviously that means that he will die because his life is what she's written.
Yeah.
And it is a bit of a comedy.
Okay.
But it's more of a drama than a comedy. It's an interesting role for him, and he's actually really good in it.
Okay. I'm just while you were talking about that, there was another film. I'm just trying to find what it's called now. But it was more of an outset. Everything must go, which I've kind of
is that the one where
myself.
he loses all of his belongings?
Well, he's sort of in a divorce, and he sort of, I think his wife chucks his ex-wife, or basically puts all of his stuff out on the front lawn, and he's like saying, "Well, I'm not moving. You know what I mean? Why should I have to move?" kind of thing. And he sort of befriends this kid on the street, kind of thing. There's a little bit of like a joking side to it and things, but it is quite serious. So I was just thinking, actually, I mean, there's two films that I suppose.
Anyway, Night of the Roxbury.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a film that I've not seen in a long time.
Yeah, so I tried to watch it last night.
Yeah.
I couldn't get further than 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
It was awful.
It was a good choice then.
It was one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life.
It's very, very early. I mean, 1998? Very, very early Will Ferrell kind of thing.
The only thing that was good about it was the beginning, which I believe... So it's based on an SNL sketch.
Okay.
In which these characters... the main joke of it is they constantly try to hit on women and fail.
Yeah.
And the ways of sort of like hitting on women is just to go up and start like sort of grinding, dancing against them.
Yeah.
But the main part of it is they're sitting there head bobbing along to What Is Love by Hathaway.
Yeah. And every time I hear that song, I think of Night of the Roxbury.
Yeah, you got to sort of bob your head back and forth as you're listening to it. And it just felt like that was the joke still. Like across the film, that was still the only joke of the whole film. And it didn't work for me.
No. It's not one of my favourite Will Ferrell films, but I do find it funny. It's just because it's stupid. I mean, really, if you think about it in hindsight, like you couldn't release a film like that nowadays. Like you think they're going up to women and rubbing themselves on them?
God, no.
Like you think actually this is quite a controversial film, really, because what's it? You know what I mean? That's not.
Yeah, but if you do that, you can't watch any film pre-2005.
Well, yeah, that's
not in terms of like, but everything's got a
yeah.
I was listening to a recent episode of this podcast in which I was talking. I think it was Bill Hader was telling his kids to watch 16 Candles, and then realised halfway through like that was a film with series for big sort of like John. I think it's John Hughes, like Rat Pack, John Hughes type film. But effectively, they rape a woman in it.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay to sort of like take advantage of a woman back then. It's not okay, obviously. But it was just very different. Not like American Pie, you look back at that.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
The scene, they literally set up webcams to record a woman getting naked.
Yeah.
There's so many... Yeah, the films of our youth do not hold up this day and age.
No, they definitely don't. They definitely don't. But yeah, I mean, apart from one other friend who was actually the one that told me about it, I can't think of anyone else that likes it. I mean, would you say you like Will Ferrell?
Yeah, I really like Will Ferrell.
So the fact that you like him and don't like this,
I can't stand it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I had it on DVD and I don't remember enjoying it, but I tried to sort of give it another shot. And yeah, like
Still
so
not.
8 minutes in is as far as I got. I got them up to telling their mum how beautiful she was, and just her saying, "Thanks, it's a new nose."
And it's the one that plays Stifler's mum, I believe.
She's a police officer.
Oh, she's a police officer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They to get the ticket in, and yes. Bit of a dated film, but very good answer to the question because I hated it.
Yeah.
Right, I think we'll do the next question, and then maybe we'll leave it there for this episode, and we'll discuss that in a second.
Yeah.
What's the film you hate but people love? So the reverse of the last question.
I put an answer here, but I don't know why I put that answer.
Longest Day.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at my wrong thing. I've got another film.
You got the next one, okay.
Okay. But no, that's fine. We'll go with that one.
Is that one that you don't like but people love?
No, it don't make. That's why it didn't really make sense.
Okay.
But no, this one. Yeah, sorry, no, The Longest Day. Yeah, because The Longest Day, it's a long film to start with. It's like
I've not heard of it, and I googled it. It sounds quite an interesting film. The war's told by the perspective of different people.
Yeah,
who are involved in it.
It's set on D-Day, so it's all filmed on D-Day, but it's set like say throughout D-Day. It's got John Wayne in it. It's got Sean Connery in it.
I was going to say it's got some big high-profile names in it.
Yeah.
So it's got Americans, Brits, and Germans, hasn't it?
And there's there's like free French in there as well. I mean, it is a good film. I do enjoy it, but
it won 2 Oscars and it was nominated for Best Picture.
So you know more about it than me, Mike. You've done your research. But yeah, it is a good film, but I don't. Unless you're into. I mean, unless you're
so
into.
So hate the wrong sort of word. You don't like it, but
Wait, what was the question? Which one?
a film you hate but people love.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, no, that's wrong then, The Longest Day. I don't know why I don't know. The Longest... Oh, I don't know what The Longest Day is for. I don't know what I've put for that then. Am I all over here? See, I've got Ants down after Night at the Roxbury.
You sent me Longest Day down for the second bit.
A film that people...
That you hate. Do you hate Ants?
Oh, yeah, I'd probably say I dislike Ants. Yeah, no, Ants is the right one. Ignore The Longest Day. I can't remember what that's about.
Okay, we'll see if it's involved. We'll have a break in a minute, and we can double check your answers.
Yeah. But no, and I'm going to go. No, now I'm trying to think where. So Ants, I used to get that and Bug's Life mixed up.
Yeah,
like because they're very similar films. But I remember when it came out and I watched it, and there's that song that they were singing in it, like the ants go marching 2 by 2. They sing that. And everyone, when it first come out, like I think McDonald's did like you know the little toys and stuff that they get and stuff like that, and it was just one film that I just didn't.
See, I remember watching it a lot as a child. I can't massively remember past where Sylvester Stallone's character loses his head.
I didn't even realise Sylvester Stallone was in it.
Yeah.
It's like one of them Disney...
what they were, big warrior ants.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a Woody Allen film, isn't it?
Maybe.
You hate it, so why would you know?
Yeah, it is a Woody Allen film, yeah. I'm just having a look now. Sharon Stone. Jennifer Lopez is in it. Gene Hackman, Danny Glover. I don't know who that is. No, there's quite a few big names. That's like Dan Aykroyd. Christopher Walken.
Yeah, it's got.
I sound like a right twat now for saying I don't like this. With all these like really good actors in it, but it's like one of them films like it's like, for example, like Toy Story. For ages, I didn't realise it was Tom Hanks that did the voice of Woody.
Oh, really?
For ages, like I never put 2 and 2 together.
But that's because DreamWorks and Pixar started doing this thing of like celebrity voice actors. Like previously, it had just been good voice actors, but then they tried to bring in celebrities to do the voices to bring in money. Be like, oh look, Brad Pitt's playing Sinbad sort of thing. So people flock to see it as opposed to some random unknown voice actor.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who bring in the money. So yeah, there was a period like where we sort of like crossed over from it being nobody's doing these voice acting to celebrities doing voice acting.
Yeah.
So that's probably why, to be fair, you didn't realise.
Yeah, okay. I feel a bit bad for saying it now with all these famous people. It's just Woody Allen plays
You're
Zed.
allowed to dislike a film just because, Zed's the main character.
Oh, okay. That's who Woody Allen plays?
Yeah.
So I thought it was like directed by Woody Allen.
No. He plays
Woody Allen's in it. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I mean, it's a combination of a film I remember from my youth that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But I was struggling to think of anything else, so that's why I said Ants. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of it.
No, well, good answers so far. People in heaven are enjoying watching the films that you suggested, or not enjoying and having a little bit of a complaint about them. So we'll end part 1 here. Join us next week for part 2 of movies to... I've forgotten what the homage episode was called, so that's why I was really confused. Movies to take into the afterlife. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.